A great intro doesn't always make for a great film, as the following action flops all display. They all absolutely peaked with their openings, as those involved failed to keep up the quality over the following 90 minutes or so. But hey, at least they all have these scenes to fall back on though, so that's something. Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 9 awesome opening scenes in otherwise terrible action movies. Number 9, Royce's Fall, Predators. The creatures had been involved in the ill-fated Alien vs Predator crossover series, but hadn't appeared in their own standalone movie since 1990. That was until 2010's Predators came along. A bunch of human soldiers wake up on an alien planet, where they are hunted for sport by the malicious extraterrestrials. This battle royale style premise could have made for an interesting movie, but sadly it didn't really come together for Predators. The characters are one-dimensional and bland, and the same against all odds feeling from the first Predator movie just isn't there. Also, who thought casting Adrian Brody as an action hero was a good idea? Speaking of Brody, he's actually the main focus of the excellent opening scene. I know, I'm shocked too. His character Royce wakes up to find himself in a freefall. As he gets closer to the ground, he frantically scrambles around for his parachute, deploying it just in time. The scene only lasts about a minute or so, but it's got more excitement in it than the other 106 minutes of the entire movie. Number 8, The Devil's Triangle, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Most people agree that Pirates of the Caribbean should have stopped after its third movie. Actually, there are some people out there who would say it should have stopped after its first movie. Regretfully, the allure of doubloons drew Disney into making 5 Pirates movies. The fourth one, On Stranger Tides, has its merits, but Dead Men Tell No Tales was one massive shipwreck. The story was played out, as well as being stretched way too thin across a 2-hour runtime, and the characters were all pretty much unsalvageable. Leads Kea Scodelario and Brenton Thwaites had as much chemistry as a toaster and a bathtub, and Johnny Depp was even more annoying than usual as the flailing Captain Jack Sparrow. The first major set piece of Dead Men Tell No Tales has a lot to offer though. A British Navy ship sails into the cursed Devil's Triangle, where its crew is slaughtered by Captain Salazar and his undead hordes. That is definitely hordes. It's hardly reinventing the sail, but it's a damn sight better than the scurvy-ridden nonsense we would get later on. Number 7, Shake a Hand, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Visionary French director Luc Besson brought his childhood favourite Valerian comic books to the big screen in 2017. Starring Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne, this sprawling space opera cost $223 million to make, the most ever spent on an independent movie. Though it did okay at the box office, the extraordinary budget combined with high marketing costs made Valerian a bomb. What could have been the next Star Wars was met with a lukewarm reception, as fans and critics just couldn't get into what should have been a wild ride through space. The story of Valerian kicks off with a montage of various different people arriving at the International Space Station. As time passes, astronauts from different nations join the crew. Eventually, species from other planets arrive too, each one greeting humanity with a handshake. This refreshing take on first contact is quite touching really, displaying how easily certain differences can be overcome with an ordinary gesture. It's a nice idea for an opening scene, but one that was not really followed up on. Number 6, A Drunken Rescue, Hancock. Hancock, which stars Will Smith as a troubled superhero, came out in 2008. This alternate look at the superhero genre happened right as the format was beginning to take off, so it should have been a total smash. Sadly, the only thing that got smashed were Hancock's wine bottles. The movie starts off strong, exploring Smith's character's fears of responsibility and the trauma that led him to this point in his life. But everything gets a little bit weird once it is revealed that there's another deranged superhero in town. A great opening scene should convey to an audience exactly what's going on and who is involved in a story, and Hancock does this very well, as the titular quote-unquote hero clumsily attempts to apprehend a car full of baddies, whilst causing untold mayhem in the process. Some of the jokes haven't really aged that well, to be honest, but there is still a solid opening scene here. It's tight, it's focused, and it is fun to watch. Number 5, Releasing Parallax, Green Lantern. In 2011, desperate for their next hit, DC Entertainment released a film about one of its most prestigious heroes, the Green Lantern. With Ryan Reynolds starring as Hal Jordan, the movie explored the character's journey from arrogant nobody to fully fledged galactic defender. defender. At least that was the plan. What ended up happening was a film so bad that it damn near killed the career of one of the most charismatic men in Hollywood. The Green Lantern story starts with the tale of Abin Sur and Parallax. Their epic battle is told in the movie by a series of images projected onto a background of the vastness of space. Then, many years later, a group of lost space travelers come across where the villainous Parallax is trapped. He feeds on their fear, killing them and escaping in the process. It's a strong opening with some decent CGI for the time. If only this momentum had been kept up even slightly for the rest of the flick. Number 4, a bloody introduction, Daredevil. Clearly inspired by the success of Sony's Spider-Man, production company New Regency and 20th Century Fox set about making a movie based on a Marvel character they had the rights to. This was Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer with enhanced senses who moonlights as the masked hero Daredevil. The story was criticized as mundane and boring though, with Ben Affleck failing to win anybody over as a leading man. A spin-off film, Elektra, performed even worse, and the whole project was left to die a death. Still, Daredevil was introduced to audiences in a pretty badass way. After following a CGI rat around, the camera slowly pans up a building following a trail of blood that eventually leads to Murdock clinging to a statue. This is intercut with footage from the film's climactic final battle, teasing viewers with what's to come. Attention-grabbing and just dark enough to be compelling, Daredevil was on the right track before the whole train came flying off the rails. Number 3, Dog Day Afternoon, Swordfish. 2001's Swordfish centers around Hugh Jackman's character Stanley, a gifted hacker who is recruited by crime boss Gabriel to steal billions of dollars from government slush funds. But rather than open on a gunfight or even with Stanley tapping away at his computer, the movie begins with Travolta monologuing about the state of modern American cinema. In his speech, Gabriel derides the lack of realism in movies, citing Al Pacino film Dog Day Afternoon as an example. He talks about how the villains could have gotten away with their plan if they just started murdering their hostages. Simple, really. This leads to a scene not long after where Gabriel uses a bomb strapped to a hostage to kill some police officers. Had Swordfish not turned into one of the cliche-ridden brain numbers that Travolta railed against, this scene might have been the prelude to a game-changing flick. Number 2, The Many Wars of Logan, X-Men Origins Wolverine. X-Men Origins Wolverine set out with a very clear message. Explore how Wolverine became the grizzled loner seen in the original X-Men trilogy. The movie begins with a young Logan killing the man who murdered his apparent father, before going on the run with his half-brother Victor, aka Sabretooth. We then get a brilliant montage of the near-immortal siblings fighting in various wars throughout time. The American Civil War, World Wars I and II, Vietnam, the brothers survived them all. Not only does this scene display both men as hardened fighters, but it's also beautifully crafted. The transitions are so well done, as the brothers seamlessly go from one historic battle to the next. Unfortunately though, Origins quickly loses its way, failing to create any sort of intrigue with what was ultimately quite a bland story. And let's not even get started on its portrayal of Wade Wilson, eh? Number 1, The Day of the Dead, Spectre. 2015's Spectre entry into the James Bond canon begins with 007 in Mexico, as a Day of the Dead parade goes on around him. After seducing a lady, obviously, Bond goes to work taking out a criminal intent on blowing up the city. The first part of this scene is filmed as a long take, one supposedly uninterrupted shot of Bond and his lady friend walking the streets. It then descends into all-out chaos, as the super spy and his foe do battle amongst the celebrations. In terms of Bond openers, Spectre's ranks up there with the very best, where it pertains to technical achievement and thrills. If only some of this goodness had been saved for the rest of the movie though. Spectre is, without hyperbole, a mess. The plot is incoherent, characters come and go without leaving a mark, and the whole thing builds to one of the stupidest reveals in franchise history. It's easily Daniel Craig's worst outing in the role, and it all started so promisingly. And that's our list. Know of any other awesome opening scenes in otherwise terrible action movies? Well, let us know all about them in the comment section right down below. And also, if you like this sort of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com. Cheers for watching this video today, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye bye!